Hey guys, this is Dave from Rochester Personal Defense. I'm here to answer the questions that you've submitted to the Match Grade podcast. This is the Instructor Corner. All right, so we've got first question up at the 9mm Shag Daddy. Okay, I'm thinking about getting into my first competitive shooting match. How do I begin? I am a little intimidated about going by myself. Hey, that's normal. Don't worry about it. There's a lot going on at these matches. The best thing to do is find a local club that's doing an informal match or a small match and go see them. Tell everybody when you get there, or just, when you meet the match director or somebody there, that you're new. And what'll happen is they'll find somebody that's going to coach you through everything. They're going to be your mentor for the match, and then you do it again for a couple more matches. And before you know it, you're going to be shooting right along with the big dogs, and you're going to be okay. Let's see. Next up, Grumpy Vet 24. I've been shooting since I was 8. How do I become an instructor, and which organization should I be an instructor for? Okay, great question. I get that a lot. What you're going to want to do is, I'm glad you've been shooting for a long time. You've got a lot of long time experience, but you're going to need to obtain some professional training. What you want to do is get to some classes as a student of people teaching the current methodologies. And then once you gain a lot of experience, think about attending an instructor certification course. What those do is they will verify your knowledge. Don't try to go to an instructor course thinking they're going to make you a better shooter or they're going to teach you how to teach per se, because you already have to know the topic. Then you got to know how to teach the topic. So gain a lot of knowledge as a student first, then go get your certification. I would suggest starting with the NRA. It's a good baseline certification, and then you can move your way up into other formats. Okay, next up we've got Rock the Glock 2B, B-A-I, B-E-I, I don't know. You got to come up with a tagline that I can understand here. But they have two questions. One, how did Dave get into shooting? And two, can I start my own company for training? First one's a lot easier. I actually decided I wanted to get into a career that was law enforcement centric. So my dad, who was my first instructor, said, I'm going to teach you how to shoot because I want to know that you're going to be able to use this life-saving skill in the right moment. So I just started learning how to shoot. I started out with just basic fundamentals and marksmanship, and then I worked my way up and kept going and adding more skills until, I felt I was ready to start doing stuff. So I really just kind of broke into it and started at the bottom and then just kept going. I'm still learning, so there's still more to do. Second part here, can I start my own company for training? Anybody can give it a shot. I can tell you, do you really want to do this? This is a lot of work. It's, I can't imagine doing anything else for myself because I love teaching, but it's a lot of work to do it. You have to do a lot of work to stay current. You have to do a lot of work to get there. Starting your own company might seem easy, but in the end, you better be really dedicated to making this work or else that hobby is not going to last long. Next up, we have at honeybunny826. I started to ask my husband if there's a difference between 9 and 10 millimeter. We are 20 minutes into the discussion and I've completely tuned out. Is there really a difference of 1 millimeter? Help a girl out here. Honey Bunny, I've got you covered. Number one, I don't want to wade into this whole domestic issue, so I'm just going to answer it. Yes, it is a difference of 1 millimeter, but there's also a cartridge length difference. It's a power factor too. There's more power in the 10 millimeter than the 9. Is it worth it? I guess it depends on what you want to shoot. If your hobby is trying to go all, testosterone based and really just say, I got to shoot that big 10 millimeter because, all these other guys say I got to shoot it, let him have his fun. What I would suggest is get yourself a 9 millimeter and then you have your own gun, let him have his, and then you guys could, compare notes later. All right, so next one up, at Plot Armor Thickens 2. They ask, my wife and I just got tasers while we wait on our handgun permits to go through. Cool, congratulations, glad you applied. How much does it hurt to get tased? Should I use it on my kids? I'm going to answer the first one a lot easier. Okay? How much does it hurt? It hurts a lot. Don't do it. Even if you're thinking about just like, I want to try it out, Yeah, don't do it. Just take my word for it. If you want to find out how it gets tased, on a surprise basis, go up and harass a cop. They'll probably oblige you. Don't do that either. Just don't try it. The second question, should I use it on my own kids? I'm going to answer this as simple as possible so that it's very easy to understand. No. And if you're still thinking about this, you should probably get some counseling. All right. Moving on to the next one. Let's see, who's this one? This one I got to slow down here. At the green ones go fasta. I don't know what the green ones are, but we'll deal with that later. How big should my first handgun be? How big is too big? Good question. That's a good question. Number one, just remember this. Size matters. Number two, the proper size is going to give you the best performance. That's what you want. Here's how it would go. When you go select your first gun, go find the biggest gun in the cabinet, and then what you do is you work your way down until it fits your hand properly and it feels like it fits you better. If you go the other way and you start too small, you're never going to find out what the actual size gun you're going to want to use because you're going to stop very quickly in the smaller category. So start with a medium-sized gun to a full-size gun. It's going to give you better performance, and you'll look a lot cooler around the range instead of pulling out the little PP gun and trying to hit targets 25 yards away. Okay, next up, we've got at Hunty Boonty for you. They ask, I got my first rifle and liked it because it was only 7 pounds. I gave it to my boyfriend to make some adjustments, and now it weighs 17 pounds, and I don't know what half these things do. There are buttons everywhere. What do I really need? Well, it sounds like your boyfriend decided to play kitchen sink attachment with the rifle. He was probably looking at all sorts of things online and thought it looked cool. And you know what? Really, you don't need much. Okay? Rifles are purpose built. They're very personal. So what you're going to want to do is you decide what you want on your rifle. Do you want a laser sight on it? Do you want a flashlight on it? Do you want a way to attach extra magazines? Do you want an optical sight? Do you want standard iron sights? You decide what you want, and then tell him to take all the extra crap off of there so that you can use your rifle the way you want, and then tell him to go throw all that junk on his rifle. And if it makes sense to you, you use it. If it doesn't make sense to you, tell him to take it off. Next up on our question and answer session, at Too Fast and Too Blurious. I just got my first Glock. How many of these accessories can I get? None. Just keep it a stock Glock. None of those would work. Although they are pretty interesting, I would probably say none of these are going to be practical for what you're going to want to do in concealed carry or going to the range. You might get laughed at a little bit. Next, coming in from at For the Puck Dynasty. What? Okay, how effective is birdshot and rock salt for defense? Can I just load whatever I want in my shotgun and will it work? No. Load the right shells in your shotgun. Don't load all this weird crap in your shotgun and use it properly and you're going to be fine. Don't try to make up any extra rules for this stuff. The rules are already set. The laws are already set. You try to screw with them, you're going to end up in jail. Next, we've got at Uzi for you and me. That's a nice one. I like that one. Everybody should have one. Why not? I just saw John Wick, and how do they shoot so fast? And it looks like the guns have no kickback. I am shooting my Glock 17, and it still feels pretty snappy. Well, I might burst your bubble. You know, movies are fake, right? They're not real. These guys are shooting simulated firearms. They're not shooting real firearms. So, of course, it looks really cool when they can put 4, 5, 6 rounds somewhere and there's no recoil and it's just manageable. Granted, yes, with some strength, you can manage recoil on a gun, but these are movies. You should probably remember that. Okay, next up, we've got a gun customization question from at Number 2 Gamer. What do you think of this Glock paint job? I think it's kind of cool, but it's very confusing. It depends on what you want to do with the gun, I guess. I don't know. It's going to wear off eventually, but hey, why not? It's your gun. Do whatever you want with it. Yeah. Moving on. Next up, we've got a somewhat serious question from at Leet2COD Warrior. Just got my concealed carry permit, but I am still nervous about wearing it on my hip. How can I get more comfortable? Excellent question. That's very common. What you're going to want to do is get more training, learn more about your gun, but also learn more about yourself. And then take some small steps. Take the empty gun, put it in your holster, carry it around your house. Sit in your chair, lay on your couch, make dinner, watch TV, whatever you're doing normally, put that on there. You want to make this become part of your normal routine. Then what you do is put a magazine in the gun, but don't load it. Get used to the extra weight. Then load it and then go outside because you're probably okay and you're going to be fine. Well, that wraps up this session of the Instructor Corner. Thank you for your questions. They were wonderful. Please keep them coming. Whatever you want to ask, go ahead. We'll pick some. We'll put them out in the next segment. If you have any questions that you'd like to direct to a certain team member of one of the Rochester Personal Defense instructors, feel free to tag them in it or at least say, hey, send this to Butch, send this to Matt, send this to Wendy. Whoever's on the team, we'll get them on here and we'll get them some answers some questions. The other thing I want you to do is get out there, keep training, and we'll see you next time. All right, gang, that wraps up today's session of, what did I call it?
Instructor Corner.
Instructor Corner? Oh, the outtakes are going to be good. They're probably going to be better than the actual video. And then more, if you have a question for one of the direct team members of the, yeah. All right, guys, thanks for this wonderful session. You've got some, yeah, whatever. This is going south fast. All right, let's try this again. Hey, guys.
Hey, Dave.
Wow. It's going to be one word. Bye.